As I was going through the workday today here at my office, my home office, I was thinking about two terms that you're probably familiar with. You probably learned about these terms in a variety of arenas, most likely in the confines of your home with your family, or in the scholastic or educational arena, or in the workplace or a business arena. Those two words are assets and liabilities. Now, a quick disclaimer and a little bit of a secret. How the wealthy define these two words, or the perspectives behind these two words, they're totally different than what you've been taught in school. Today, we're going to talk about the wealthy's perspective, how we think about assets and liabilities. Now, the first word that we're going to focus on right now is the word asset. Now, the wealthy's perspective, how we think of the word asset, is very short and concise. Here's our definition. An asset is something that pays you whether you work or not. Let me say it again. An asset is something that pays you whether you work or not. The scholastic view or the educational view really focus on just ownership of an asset. That's not how we think as wealthy individuals. Our definition really harnesses and focuses on the management portion of the asset. Notice the definition, something that pays you whether you work or not. Now, why do we focus on the management principle or perspective of the word asset? The reason being is because of the fact that we are income focused. We want an asset that produces income. And the key thing is whether we work while we build it or not, when we pass it on to someone to run it for us. So we're thinking generationally. We're thinking 2 or 3 steps ahead. Now, most individuals operate by the scholastic view. In other words, if I own it, it's an asset. That's actually half of the truth. It's really the performance of the asset which is more important than just owning it. Now, what is the benefit of thinking how the wealthy think about assets? Very simple. We get to add value or bring value to the world by creating jobs for individuals, putting people into leadership positions so that they can bring value to the world as well. You can better cultivate leaders. Also cultivate opportunities for individuals to grow into once you begin to think of an asset as something that pays you whether you work or not. Now let's focus on the word liability from the wealthy perspective. Now, just like the word asset, the definition is very short and concise and to the point. How we define a liability is something that you pay back whether you work or not. Do you see the similarities there? Let me say it again. Something that you pay back whether you work or not. Now, if you compare this to the scholastic view or definition of liability, it really focuses on the owing or the debt component of the liability, and it stops right there. Now, the problem with that type of approach is that can easily cultivate a mentality in the audience of debt or liability being a bad thing, and that sometimes is not the case. Now, the wealthy perspective on the word liability is different than the scholastic view. We really focus on the management principle of the liability or the borrowing of the liability or the debt itself. Our focus is on the cash flow aspect of it. Again, as an asset, when it comes to assets, we are focused on the income. Also involved in that equation is the debt component of a liability. So the two kind of walk hand in hand together. Now, why does it benefit the wealthy to view liabilities in this way? Well, it's very simple. As the wealthy, we're using the liability, or let's just say debt, to acquire the asset itself. And so while we are analyzing the asset, the acquisition, we have a liability component in the analysis itself. And so we're able to leverage the liability to acquire that asset. Now, to put a bow on our discussion today, the wealthy, we think of liabilities and assets within the same train of thought. We like liabilities because it allows for us to use that component to acquire an asset. The asset then allows for us to generate cash flow and also create opportunities to bring value to the world ourselves, and also to hire individuals to bring value to the world as well. It's a win-win for everybody. But again, we focus on the management principle of those two definitions. Guys, thank you so much for your time and listening to Little Old Me. Now, guys, if you could click on that subscription button, please, if you don't mind. We love bringing good content that can add value to your lives. And also, we're on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Rumble. Man, find us on those links, man. And also, man, you may want to watch the video that we did on silver versus currency. It's gonna rock your skull a little bit, but it's good for you as well. But you also know, y'all, I'm in my drip looking fresh, cold, clean all the time. See you next time. Holla.